As black as night the furrows fight for who gets who in the cabin. A family on a honeymoon having two newborns and having torn apart the family due to no house, just hotels and constant vacations for the fake bride. The two furrows black as daylight, for there's been no sun for years. This planet is strange, dead trees in a foggy night. The two parents have sex in bed sheets. The cannibals had planned an attack with no fear, without a kind spirit, merely crashed through both sides of the windows. The second, which took care of thine parents, killed in doggy position. The babies were merely the prize, for fresh spawn is without a doubt more fresh than humping dead people. Finding the first baby, grabbing now with thick nails, almost like scissors, a frightening awe in the baby. The baby set off an alarm, so the wretched gray-skinned cannibal gouged the eyes of the baby, and was no more. Eyeballs dripping of blood, the gray-skinned cannibal, known as the name Gray, throws an eye to the second cannibal, blue-toned skin, as the night was for 7 years, and two cannibals were looking for the second baby, in yellow and white striped PJs. The cannibal was slender-like, and had a missing eye over a stupid fight over a dead human. This was only his 4th time finding a human and killing them. Learning and yearning blood, he found the baby crawling towards the bedsheets of her dead parents. Guaranteed a night home, the third cannibal carried the baby and rendezvoused towards the nearby river. Forgetting there were only 2 babies, the 3 creatures of the dark all thought of what was about to happen to each other. When at the riverbank, the cannibals looked at each other, setting the babies down near a peaceful waterfall just by the cabin. The babies scrawling about, none to worry, the cannibals mapping out each of their choices, the blue-toned, blended with the night, watching the plot unfold. The one with the missing eye was quickly stabbed by Gray. With a devilish smirk, the blue-toned whispered thoughts into Gray's ear of all the dreadful years of killing children, feasting, and raping women. Blue wrapped his scissored hands, cutting Gray's zipped mouth, plunging himself into the bodies of Gray. Gray knew as he blew into pieces that this was his final demise of all time, to come in pieces, just knowing at that nanosecond Blue had become the beast within his inner conscious this whole time. As Blue walked towards the baby, he snapped the neck like a stick. Blood gushing from his neck, Blue beat his neck, sucking the inner soul of the baby. Then, stripping the skin like chicken, Blue eats the skin of the baby and tosses the baby into the river as if the baby were a can of beer. Now for the second baby, in yellow striped PJs. Blue went towards the river and grabbed the baby and sat on the ground. Knees filtered the soil, making himself comfortable. Blue began scraping his long fingernails, making the baby's ear bleed. Blue's scissor fingers grabbed the baby's chin in the process. The crying just made Blue continue the torture of his disgusting image of him smashing the baby against rocks, continuing dent by dent. The baby was bound to be dead. Blue starts from the temple and starts to dismantle the brain. Snapping the cord, Blue devours the brain into an emptyless stomach of the souls Gray had taken. Blue heard the footsteps of the wild call. A quick shot of a gun barrel from behind. Blue was shocked and dismayed at the calling of the man in the cabin. Or was he already dead? Under the sheets waiting for an open opportunity. Blue had taken off with the baby, lying forward in a soaked river, head down, bleeding away in a red stream of blood, and thus was the end of the three cannibals in a blood-soaked river. Epilogue. The man shot himself afterwards, to wake up to haunting mirrors of cannibal behind him, whispers of death to walk behind him. The shadows creep in his mind of dead baby, and an insane mind, for the man was awake when he opened the door to another hallway, trapped in his mind forever, walking the halls of death.